In Tehran's Behesht-e Zahra cemetery, Lot 41 holds thousands, executed in the wake of Iran's 1979 revolution. Their graves, long unmarked, long harassed, now vanishing under tarmac. Officials call it smart development. Critics call it the final stage of erasure. This isn't just about land, it's about history. Whether Iran can pave over its past, or whether memory cracks through the asphalt. For decades, Lot 41 in Tehran's Behesht-e Zahra cemetery has been one of the most guarded places in Iran. Here lie thousands of Iranians executed after the 1979 Islamic Revolution, shot or hanged by the new regime, then buried swiftly in the desert-like ground, marked only by crude stones or nothing at all. Today, their resting place is being paved over into a parking lot. Satellite images from Planet Labs PBC show the transformation in progress. An image from August 18th reveals nearly half the lot already covered in asphalt, with trucks, materials, and construction equipment scattered across the grounds. Lot 41 has always been treated differently. Authorities dubbed it the Scorched section. Cameras monitored mourners, grave markers were smashed, and trees were allowed to wither. Families who came to remember their dead often faced harassment. Now, officials are open about its new use. Davud Gudarzi, Tehran's deputy mayor, said on state television,
"In this place, hypocrites of the early days of the revolution were buried. Since we needed a parking lot, the permission for preparation of the space was received. The job is ongoing in a precise and smart way."
Iranian officials argue the lot will serve visitors to a neighboring section where the government plans to bury those killed in the June Iran-Israel war, when Israeli airstrikes killed senior generals and others. Officials put the death toll at 160, while activists claim more than 190. Mohammad Javad Tajik, head of the cemetery, told Shargh newspaper the parking would help people visit the new graves. Yet critics see something darker.
Most of the graves and gravestones of dissidents were desecrated, and the trees in the section were deliberately dried out. The decision to convert this section into a parking lot fits into this broader pattern and represents the final phase of the destruction process.
A UN Special Rapporteur warned in 2024 that Iran's destruction of cemeteries was meant to conceal or erase data that could serve as potential evidence of state crimes. Lawyer Mohsen Borhani told Shargh the decision was neither moral nor legal, pointing out that ordinary citizens, not only political prisoners, are buried in Lot 41. Iranian law allows land to be repurposed only after 30 years with family consent, something absent here.
The piece was not only for the executed and political people. Ordinary people were buried there too.
The debate over Lot 41 is more than a legal dispute about land use. It has become a struggle over memory itself, whether the state can cover the past with asphalt or whether history will continue to press through the cracks. Behesht-e Zahra, meaning Paradise of Zahra, was built in 1970 as Tehran swelled with oil wealth. It became the final resting place of both ordinary Iranians and historic figures. When Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile in 1979, he came first to this cemetery, where those killed fighting the Shah were buried. Soon after, his courts sent thousands more to their deaths, many of them dumped into Lot 41. Today, a golden domed mausoleum for Khomeini towers over the grounds, while the graves of those executed under his regime are erased under tarmac. Researchers like Shahin Nasiri estimate 5,000 to 7,000 victims lie within Lot 41. Communists, monarchists, militants, and anyone branded a religious outlaw. Families still search desperately for their relatives' graves. Now, asphalt threatens to bury memory itself.
Many survivors and family members of the victims are still searching for the graves of their loved ones. They seek justice and aim to hold the perpetrators accountable. The deliberate destruction of these burial sites adds an additional obstacle to efforts of truth-finding and the pursuit of historical justice.
Lot 41 is not an isolated case. Authorities have demolished cemeteries from the 1988 mass executions where thousands of prisoners were killed. Baha'i cemeteries have been vandalized. Graves of protesters from the 2009 Green Movement and the 2022 Mahsa Amini protests have been desecrated. Each act strips away a piece of collective memory.
Impunity for atrocities and crimes against humanity has been building for decades in the Islamic Republic. There is a direct line between the massacres of the 1980s, the gunning down of demonstrators in 2009, and the mass killings of protesters in 2019 and 2022.
The story of Behesht-e Zahra is the story of Iran's contested history. For the state, paving over Lot 41 is a practical solution to space. For families, survivors, and human rights defenders, it is a deliberate act of silencing the dead. Iran has executed a man accused of killing a security officer during the 2022 protests sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini, according to the judiciary's Mizan news outlet. The executed man, Mehran Bahramian, was convicted of participating in an armed attack on a security forces vehicle in Semirom, Isfahan province, which killed Officer Mohsen Rezai and injured others. His death sentence, issued by Isfahan's revolutionary court on charges of moharabeh, or waging war against God, was upheld by the Supreme Court and carried out early Saturday. Authorities accused him of shooting at security personnel and inciting attacks on government buildings, labeling him a thug. This execution marks at least the 10th carried out against individuals linked to the protests that erupted after Amini, a 22-year-old Kurdish woman, died in morality police custody for allegedly violating hijab rules. The unrest unleashed one of Iran's most significant waves of mass demonstrations in decades, rallying under the slogan, "Woman, Life, Freedom." Hundreds were killed, including protesters and security forces, while thousands were arrested. Rights groups criticized Bahramian's trial, warning that Iranian courts routinely rely on forced confessions obtained under torture. Amnesty International and other advocates note that prolonged solitary confinement, intimidation, and abuse are common practices to secure confessions. Adding to the family's ordeal, Bahramian's brother Fazl has also been sentenced to death on similar charges, while another brother, Morad, was killed during the protests. Earlier this year, in June, Iran hanged another man, Abbas Kukuri, for killing 7 people during the unrest, underscoring the government's ongoing crackdown.